Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Slalom for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released in 1987. It's a sports racing game / one of the first black box games. Developed by Rare and published by Nintendo. And also there'll be spoilers up ahead just so you know, but first a little backstory. So I recently found a retro magazine that had a special issue tied with Rare, the company Rare. And it listed all of their games that they made for Nintendo and so on. And I never knew that they made the game Slalom, so that's why I needed to try it. So as you start up the game, you greet with a splash screen displaying the text Slalom with a mountain in the background. And if you wait a bit, you get a silent demo of some of the stages that you can play. So when you really start up the game, you can pick between 1 or 2 players. I guess you either, take turns with the controller or it's a 2-player game. And then you can select between the stages. Snowy Hills, which I guess is easy, Steep Peak, which is normal, and then Mount Nasty, which is hard. So on the screen there are a couple of indicators. So in the top left you have kilometers to hours, which is the speed that you have. And in the top right you have the timer that counts down. And if the timer reaches 0 before you're down the mountain, it's game over. And there's no continuous, just game over, start from the beginning. And between those bars there is a progress bar. So by going over bumps down the hill, you can actually perform tricks with the D-pad, and that will somehow bump you further along the track. So the whole point of this game is going down the hill through the slalom gates and avoiding trees, other skiers, snowmen, and kids on sleds. And if you hit either of these, you will careen and spin out of control, and you will have to pick up speed again. So the control is very simple. You jump with A or B, and if you press forward on the D-pad, you will go faster, and if you press backward, you will kind of break your skis, I guess. And left and right on the D-pad turns in those directions. So before you run any of the tracks, you have to do a qualifying track. And this track I never managed to fail. They're relatively easy. You just go down the mountain within the time limit. But this game is very unforgiving in the sense that there are no continues, and even the slightest bit of error in your run can ruin everything. So I never managed to beat any of even the easier stages or the medium or the hard ones. So it's just learning the track and try to go down as fast as possible. And this is one of those things when you talk about Nintendo games and them being hard, because you have to play and play and play until you get really good at it. So if there's any advice that I can give is memorize the tracks, go down as fast as you can, humanly possible at least. Don't slow down. Do tricks over bumps to proceed faster down the track. And this is one of the original black box games, as I said, so they were meant to be hard. One of the earlier games. I believe it was also the first game that Rare made for Nintendo by the Stamper Brothers. But otherwise, this game is a one-trick pony, and it doesn't have much else going for it than going down the hill. So gameplay. Try to make it down the hill through the slalom gates within the time limit and avoid all the things that the game throws at you. Control. The D-pad moves the skier around. Pushing forward on the D-pad makes you go faster, pressing backward makes you go slower and brake. The D-pad moves left and right in those directions, A or B jumps, and start pauses. Graphics. This game has a scrolling effect that is kind of neat. You go down the track and the track kind of turns. There are trees and bumps and stuff that whooshes by, they get closer to the camera. But it's kind of washed out, all the colors, the palettes. But the nice effect is the town or the mountains down the slope. They at least look nice. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. I couldn't find any, but sometimes that's the case. So in conclusion, I wrote, yes, try it, but don't expect much. So it was at least nice to try something different this week, and I would recommend if you play this game in short bursts, because I got so bored and frustrated because I always managed to go through the qualifying track, but once I hit the next track in the order, I never could make it down, and I always got a game over. I had to start over. It would have been nice if this game had a level select, so you could practice the track. I think they did that in Excitebike. You could pick a track and practice it, but not in this game. So I don't know. I don't think I can recommend this, but if you're curious on the earlier games that Rare made for the Nintendo, maybe pick this up and try it. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.